And we are back in Studio One, and in the studio tonight, firstly from senior partner at Haynes and Politis in the criminal law for over 30 years. Is that right, Charlie?
Yes.
30 years, and the Pettingills, Victor Pearce, some of his, Dennis Allen you looked after as well?
Yes.
And you were never shitting yourself?
No.
And also Nick Brax, Steve Brax's son you looked after as well.
Yeah.
Weren't shitting yourself there?
Why should I?
Mr. Charlie Nakakis!
Thank you, go Blues.
And also in the studio, he's the author of Bigwig, The Remarkable Rise and Fall of Tony Mockbell, as well as the Chief of Staff at the Sunday Herald Sun, Mr. Liam Houlihan.
Go Blues as well.
And Dee Dee is with us.
Headley!
And Go Blues as
Go
well.
Blues!
I'm surrounded by him.
Go Forest.
And in the spirit of ecumenicism, right now on the line we have from the pages of the Sunday Age, the editor of the Sunday Age, Mr. Mark Forbes.
Hello, Headley.
How are you, Mark?
Not too bad, mate.
Have you met Liam Houlihan before?
It's a small world. I suspect we probably have, but not that I immediately recall where.
No, I don't think so.
No? It's fine spirit between the two Sunday papers.
It is. I'm disappointed he couldn't come in and be here himself.
Oh, Mark's working late, not like you were pissed off early.
And award-winning.
And award-winning. Oh, yeah, you won Sunday Newspaper of the Year, didn't you, Mark?
Yeah. We've got on the masthead now. We claim to fame for 12 months at least, but they'll share it around. I'm sure Liam will get the Guernsey shortly.
Thanks. We just win the popular award. That'll do.
Here we go. And what's the headline of the Sunday Age tomorrow?
We've got some more on the great sort of MLC saga that's been entertaining Melbourne for the past few days. About the principal faces new probe over bonuses. It seems that there's a new front being opened up as things are getting increasingly nasty between Rosa Storelli and the board, and there's now suggestions that Rosa had been paying unauthorised bonuses to the chief financial officer of at least $100,000 that now launching an investigation into.
Charlie, do you smell litigation?
Oh, yeah, I smell a lawyer making a lot of money. That's the only success story.
The lawyers are always a success story, aren't they?
That's right.
It's an interesting battle, this one, though, isn't it? Louise, we're talking about two pretty powerful and well-connected women. One of the interesting things is we've been investigating this and speaking to Louise Adler. She's been, I think, trying to garner a bit of support and arranged a statement passed on directly to us from Tony Abbott about how wonderful the MLC board was and how they'd never do anything wrong.
Right. Liam, what have you got in the headline in yours today?
Well, we're all about, apart from the Hawks, salvaging the honour and dignity of Victoria in the face of the interstate raiders and Buddy, just a fantastic photo of Buddy on the front. We're all about Emma Louise Legui, the Australian on death row in Malaysia, and just a sort of 4-page extravaganza on her fairly interesting life and comments from the family there, and the headlines don't let me hang, and we're also all over the MLC stuff with Tony Abbott coming in to back his mate and sort of somewhat strange bedfellows, but Louise Adler. Yeah.
Who's the church backing?
Which church?
The
MLC?
Uniting Church. Who are they backing?
I think the church is staying agnostic at this point.
Because I'll back the church. The church will win.
Well, God's on everyone's side. That's what's so good about God.
It's great to see the Sun Herald and their sometimes schizophrenic approach to getting tough on crime and law and order, backing the drug traffickers this week.
Are you?
Oh, that's a bit rough. An Australian on death row overseas. Gee.
Well, on that note, most of the police or politicians that we have here and lawyers, and you ask them off air, not on air, why do we have still such ridiculous, antiquated, unenforceable drug laws that cause so much crime and corruption? And it's usually a hyphenated answer, the Herald Sun. Liam? They're all shitting themselves about you guys, you know that?
If only we were so influential.
You are.
I mean, I think a lot of Victorians don't want to see drugs legalised, if that's what you're saying.
Why?
Yeah, why?
I don't know. Maybe Triple R isn't a microcosmos of Victoria.
Well,
I don't know.
Charlie, how many people are sitting in jail because of ridiculous, unenforceable drug laws? How many people are sitting in jail? What percentage, you reckon?
What sort of laws are you talking about?
The drug laws.
The drug laws are fairly strong.
Yeah, I know. That's why there's so many people sitting in jail.
Yeah.
Oh, it's making you a lot of money.
That's right.
That's right. You're not going to
Put it this way, the laws that exist in this state as far as drugs are concerned are tight and getting tighter
Yeah,
and being interpreted that way.
yeah. And doing a lot of good?
No, not really.
Doing any good?
No.
Doing a lot of harm?
To the community, yes,
And to corruption? Doing a lot of harm there?
probably, but at the end of the day, the government is quite happy to lock everybody up.
Yeah, all the junkies that put knives to people's throats because
understand
they're
all that.
desperate.
Yep, no worries, but they're not prepared to build the prisons to put them in.
Well, that's not where they belong. Is not in prisons.
Well, no, but everybody who gets charged has to go to prison. Don't worry about the court system. That's what the Herald Sun advocates. They just go to jail. Oh, come off it. It's not.
Extending Ararat.
Extending Ararat, it's already stopped 3 times the building of it.
I didn't say the building project was going swimmingly. I said the building bridges.
And the population in Ararat, at the Ararat, once that opens, will be overflowing already.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's why you're there, Charlie, to keep them on the streets.
Yeah, that's right. Marcus, what else is making news tomorrow?
Well, more on the drug front, on the one of the drugs that society, for reasons that don't quite bear rational examination, deems to be legal, is alcohol. But we have a yarn about the Alcohol and Drug Foundation now making a call for alcohol to be banned from all school functions which any kids might be present at, because they feel that children seeing their parents drinking at school functions will lead them on to a life of debauchery and
That's the old nanny state again. I mean, anything you try to stop, people are going to do it anyway. And you're going to just create crime and Liam.
The school disco just got even more boring.
Yes, that's right.
They never happened at the Catholic schools.
No, that's...
No, it does actually. I went to one the other night. No booze.
No booze?
Yeah.
No booze? No sacramental wine?
But did you have a look in the lane out the back, though? I reckon there might have been a big...
It was just people covering up the branding of their cigarettes because, you can't do that anymore.
You can't do anything anymore. Oh, dear. Mark, one more story?
Oh, which one? There's so many, mate. We've got...
It's my news day.
But wait, there's more.
Well, we've still got a few news pages left, mate. I noticed that when I picked up the first issue of the Sun Herald, the Herald Sun, they seem to have shrunk your book a bit, mate. We've got to be fighting against this. So we all want a bit more space into healthy newspapers in town.
Speaking of which, when do you go from broadsheet to tabloid?
Oh, mate, I'm not allowed to use the word tabloid.
What are you going to call yourself?
It's quality compact.
Height challenged. Is that what it is? Length challenged. Not.
I think March is meant to be the launch date.
Right. Okay.
I can hear the sound of teacups dropping in Hawthorn as we speak.
and yeah, go on.
Okay, I'll give you a quick couple. We've got another sort of piece looking at as part of a series on privacy, which is that the data from the smart meters which are being installed in all the houses is actually now being on-sold by the electricity companies to a whole range of other people. Very useful data for some companies and marketing people, because they can actually tell when you use appliances and what appliances are used. But they're selling this data far and wide.
And on that note, MyKey is giving its material to the police. I think Liberty... Selling to the police?
No, only under a specific request.
Under a specific request, says Dee Dee, where they're tracking your movements through MyKey.
Yes, when they ask for it, I don't think they need a court order to do it. I think they ask for it and they get it.
Right, and Liberty Victoria is not very happy with it.
Trying to start getting warrants.
No, and Caroline Wilson made anything up this week?
No, but I'm sure she'll be featuring strongly in our grand final coverage. Big weekend next week for Liam and myself, I'm sure, mate. Biggest papers of the year, the grand final for the Sundays.
Yeah, and just on that note of making stuff up, we've got the Finkelstein report coming out about changes to the media. I want to ask both you and Liam, what should be, there's got to be repercussions for a journalist or a newspaper getting something wrong. And, you know, the example I keep bringing up is when the Queensland papers, I think it was in your stable, printed those allegedly nude photos of Pauline Hanson 2 weeks before the election. Now, you know, it's Pauline Hanson, so people don't take it too seriously, but that can change an election. You put out a story that's wrong, and we talk about the Godwin-Gretsch crap that was also delivered. Now, if that was done a week or two before the election, that could be a change of government based on a false story. There's got to be repercussions for getting it wrong. Liam, I'll start with you. Shouldn't there be?
Oh, there should be, and
a month's pay.
There is.
There aren't.
The repercussions, and without without wanting to talk out of school, I'm sure you know Pauline has a nice new wing to her house, courtesy of the people that made a mistake. Defamation law, if you're defamed, you know, you get up to $250,000, I think, in Victoria.
What about the Godwin-Gretsch saga?
Well, yeah,
no one got money for that.
Well, Godwin-Gretsch and Utegate and all that, I think Malcolm Turnbull sort of